And welcome back to the Rock Shop Podcast. Joining me today is a very special guest, and his name is.
Hello, I'm Brian Percival. I'm the host of the BP Movie Review Hour podcast. And that's where you can find me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
You review movies you just see at the theater, or just anything you want, or what?
Movies I usually see in theaters. I occasionally will talk about some news related stuff or, yeah, just whatever boats my float.
Wow. Well, you saw a lot of movies in the theater recently, isn't that right?
Oh, yeah, I saw 35 films at Toronto International Film Festival. 34 of them were new releases because one of them I couldn't turn down a chance to see Jaws on 35 millimeter.
Wow, dude. Okay, we can throw Jaws in there, sure. I do be loving Jaws. But you saw 35 things. I saw eight, but I wasn't there for so long. How many days were you there? Like, what was your schedule?
I was there Thursday till Saturday, so basically till everything till the final day,
And
and then
did you
usually
see
about
the
4 to 5 films a day.
did you see the closing night film?
I did not. That was one of the things I did not see.
I was not even lurking. I was like posting on the subreddit every day, practically for like 2 months, just to have excitement for TIFF. Um, and I did see a lot of people were disappointed by the closing film, or I don't know if like it was just reviewed poorly, but when it was announced, people were just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, that's kind of happening right now in New York. The opening film has not gotten the best reception. It didn't get a great reception out of Venice. It's not getting a great one out of New York either. It's after Luca Guadagnino's After the Hunt.
Yeah, that RT score keeps going down. That's kind of crazy.
That's disappointing. Guadagnino is one of my favorite filmmakers working right now, but they're not all going to hit home runs.
Okay, but I saw the closing film last year, The Deb, and it was pretty bad. Were you there last year?
Nope, this is my first time going to TIFF.
Yeah, it was my second time, but I went second weekend. And TIFF is very magical. I encourage all my viewers to go. First weekend's definitely better, although it's harder to get tickets. What membership level were you? Now I'm curious.
I'm just the regular. Well, I was the early access member.
Oh, you weren't like a contributor or an individual member or sustainer?
No.
Wow. I was a sustainer. You have to put in a lot of money, and I was just really worried about not being able to see movies. So I just freaked out and got a membership, even though I was only there like 4 days. And I could get in about everything except for the only ones I had trouble were like Knives at Three, Frankenstein, and a couple of the Saturday ones were pretty tough. Like I want to see Roofman, the premiere for that, or Good Fortune, and I want to see Rental Family, but I couldn't get it initially. But they had ticket drops. But there's one other thing I really want to see, and I couldn't. But I guess Frankenstein Knives Out I could not see.
There's a couple I had to fight my way into it on. Apparently, the ticketing was like a major issue for a lot of people this year, so hopefully they improve that. But using Ticketmaster's not really gonna ever solve that problem.
It was kind of brutal, but I don't know. I think it was a lot of exaggeration. But like, if you weren't an early bird or nothing, then yeah, it would have been pretty tough. And like, you just would have had to pay a scalper, especially that first weekend when we were hanging out. Like, everything was sold out. Even the stuff like, people wouldn't really care about seeing.
I got lucky on my end. I got to exchange a few of my tickets, so I didn't have to worry about falling victim to a scalper, but I exchanged a lot.
So let's go. Let's do it. Let's start you off Thursday. Like, what'd you see?
I only saw two films. I saw Charlie Harper, which has Amelia Jones and Nick Robinson. Uh, and this one was fine. It's a romance story. It's about these two who move to a different city together early on in their relationship, and then they go through all the trials and tribulations of their relationship and what happens later on. I do like the ending. I just was not. I kind of knew I was in for something not that great when the director said right before the screening started that we should suspend our disbelief. And I'm like, well, if a director's telling me to do that, then that's kind of a problem. But Nick Robinson and Amelia Jones, they're good in it. I also think that might have been the worst title for a movie because the characters' names are Charlie and Harper, but I think of Charlie Harper, I think of Charlie Sheen's character on Two and a Half Men. But
That's the character's name on Two and a Half Men.
yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know. I haven't
And
seen that show.
so yeah, that's what I think about when I think of Charlie Harper, not not a movie about two people named Charlie and Harper.
There were a lot of high concept romance films this year.
Oh, there was one I was not a fan of, and I'll get into that in a little
Ooh.
bit.
I hope
And
it's
then,
not the one I'm thinking of because I really enjoyed that, but we'll see.
and then the other one, I was kind of worried that seeing this on my first day at the festival might be the peak of festival. I saw Sentimental Value, which
Ooh, Joachim
which
Trier, right?
yes,
Yeah.
his follow up to Worst Person in the World, which is Film Twitter's favorite movie of the 2020s, and then I actually like this more than Worst Person in the World, just a hair more personally. I like the everything that it has to go for. It's about Stellan Skarsgård, and he is trying to reconnect with his two daughters, played by Renata Reinsve and Inga. I keep trying to pronounce her name correctly, and then I do it wrong every single time.
Well, it is Swedish, maybe.
Yeah, it's it's Inga Ibstadter Lilius. That's how you say it. Okay, Inga Ibstadter Lilius, and he's wanting to make a film with Renata Reinsve because she is an actress and he is a filmmaker, and they don't get along, so he hires Elle Fanning. I really like this one. I think that it's one of the best of the year so far. I really like its conversations about family and how sometimes we say to ourselves we're never going to end up like our parents, and then we end up doing things that are very similar to our parents. Uh, yeah, I think that this will be a major Oscar player in a few months. I think Stellan Skarsgård might actually win an Oscar, which will be nice because he's had a pretty great career.
I really enjoyed Worst Person in the World. It doesn't help that I really loathe 2021 in film because, like, I don't know, it was a disappointment after disappointment. But Worst Person in the World was really refreshing, I felt. And even though I wasn't familiar with the director, yeah, I just thought it was a really good film, and I want to see sentimental value. Um, but there was only like two screenings, so that made it a little difficult.
They added more after you left.
Yeah, after I left. Hey, let's also add scores. So what would you like 1 out of 10 or 5 stars or whatever? What would you give both of these films?
I'm looking at my letterbox right now. Charlie Harper, I have it as a 3 out of 5 on letterbox, and then Cinema Value, I have it as a 9.
Okay. Um, yeah, I didn't hear great things about Charlie Harper, but sentimental value, I heard like, a lot of people had high expectations and it seemed like it met them. So, um, yeah, let's move on. Friday. So, Friday, what'd you see?
Oh, that was a whirlwind of emotional days. So I started the day off with Christy, the
Ooh,
Christy Martin biopic with Sydney Sweeney. Say what you will about Sydney Sweeney,
she's
in
hot.
some of her, well, more of her recent ventures recently. She's good in the movie. It's kind of your typical sports biopic, but I think what elevates it is the second half of the story where we kind of dive in a little bit deeper into Christy Martin's personal life and her relationship with her husband, who is also her trainer, and he's played by Ben Foster. And I think if you don't know anything about Christy Martin's life story, that is easily the one of the more shocking things to find out because it is based on a true story. Um, but I mean, if you've seen a lot of other sports biopics, specifically in boxing, this one's not that far off from what you typically see, except for that later part of the story.
I felt that way about a separate fighting biopic. We'll get into that one, but I want to see Christie. But the
It's
second
coming out in
screening,
November. It's
yeah,
coming out in November.
the second screening was just like a few hours before I showed up the next day, and I just missed it. And then they added screenings, but when I was out of town, so
And then Friday I saw Steve, which is 10 million follow up to Small Things Like These, which also stars Cillian Murphy, as does this one.
wait,
Takes
what was?
place.
Sorry, what was Christie's score?
Oh, Christy, I have it as a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, mostly because that second half kind of saved it. It was kind of more at a 3 throughout most of it because Sydney Sweeney's good in it. And then the second half actually got elevated.
It's not getting great reviews, but I'll see it anyway. I really like fighting biopics, even though I don't care for UFC or WWE. I want to get in a UFC when Paramount Plus starts airing them. Um, I think that'd be pretty neat. But yeah, I don't know nothing about Christie, but I heard it's not great.
It's fine. It's nothing
Fine.
special.
The Wrestler is peak with Mickey Rourke. Incredible film. Holy God, I love that movie.
The other thing I saw on Friday was Steve, which
I am Steve.
oh God, get out.
Sorry, go on.
Um, wait, why am I telling you to get out this?
Chicken jockey.
Steve, it's directed by David Millians, who directed Small Things Like These that came out last year. Also premiered at TIFF or it screened at TIFF. I don't know if it premiered, but it has Cillian Murphy. Again, like Small Things Like These, he is a head school teacher at a reform school for troubled boys from in their teenage years, and it takes place over a 24-hour period, and it's basically showing all of the hard things they have to go through, but also all the rewards that they feel when it comes to working at this reform school. And I mean, it's good. I don't necessarily love the whole angle that it takes place over 24 hours because the book that it's based on, it takes place over the course of a few days, and this one they changed to 24 hours. So I wasn't particularly big on that because I feel like there's a lot of character work that they kind of just missed an opportunity on to show a little bit more of a dynamic between the boys at the school. But Cillian Murphy's great in it, but that's nothing new.
Well, even if you see a mid movie, a TIFF, and you're at the premiere, it's still very hype to see the stars. Like, probably would have been pretty cool to see Killian at least.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that makes it worth it.
Uh, Steve, I have it as like a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd right now because I think the ending works. And then Cillian Murphy's great. The rest of the cast is good too. There's one I do want to shout out. Give me a second. Okay, there is one I do want to shout out, and that is Jay LaGruccio. He plays one of the kids. He is very good in the movie. He's probably the one that has the standout of all of them.
Okay.
And my final movie I saw on Friday was one that I was anticipating, but I don't know if it was for the reasons that many would think. It is. I saw Surat, and that is It is one of the most intense experiences I have experienced watching a film this year. It is got one of the great, one of the best bits of sound design this year, and its score. Most of it is like that oomph, 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 oomph sound.
Club
But it,
music.
yes. It's about a father and a son who arrive at a rave in the mountains in southern Morocco, and they're searching for his daughter and the son's sister who vanished. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and basically it turns into Wages of Fear and William Friedkin's Sorcerer. It's like that's what the intensity it feels like. It has some insane driving moments. It also has like a tad of Gaspar Noé's climax in the opening, where basically it's just a bunch of people dancing, and that if you've seen Climax and know that opening sequence, that's kind of what that feels like. It's very anxiety-inducing. There's a lot of great sound work. There's a sequence in the third act that is edge of your seat because you do not know where it's going to go. It's coming out, I think, sometime in a few weeks because it's being distributed by Neon. It's very good. It's very bleak, but I like those types of movies.
At this point of the festival, I was at home and was getting ready for TIFF, and I was very excited. And yeah, I was on a movie fast for a bit because I was gonna watch so damn many. But Surat, that sounds pretty cool. I saw people were hyping it up, but I didn't like see it or anything. I just think about like that Adam Driver clip from Megalopolis where he's like, "Go back to the club." That clip, like many other Megalopolis moments, live rent free in my head.
It's not like Mega. It's not like that. It is.
Well, it's like the rave, and that's what Adam Driver says is go back to the club.
Oh, it's nothing like that at all.
I wish every movie was like Megalopolis. I wish I saw that last year, but I didn't. I saw it in regular AMC like a schmuck.
Going into Saturday here, I saw a documentary called True North, which takes place in 1980 in 1969. 1969, Montreal at a university. It covers a 1969 protest at this university, and I think this one's very interesting because I think that what they do on a filmmaking level is pretty interesting because they have the whole film in black and white. Even the interviews from the present day from those that are still alive and can share their experiences with it. They talked about it, and that was also in black and white. I kind of like that timeless feel to it. I do think it takes a bit to get going. It's a little over 90 minutes long, and the first 45 minutes they spend a lot of time getting into every person that they are interviewing's background in terms of who they were, where they came from before they moved to Canada, or if they're from Canada, what their experience was like growing up, and things like that. But it took a while to kind of get going into the main topic of the documentary, and I think once it hits into that, it's a lot more interesting. It kind of felt like a two-part documentary series that was stitched together. Like the first part was here's everything you need to know about the people that were involved, and the second part is here's the actual event. And I think it does a little too much, but I still think it's very educational and one that will leave an emotional impact.
There are a handful of cool documentaries that screen at TIFF this year, but I didn't see any of them. The balloonists about the people who like travel in hot air balloons, like that one looked kind of neat.
I saw another one, but we'll get to that one in a bit. The last one that I saw, or the next one I saw on Saturday, this was my least favorite film of the festival, so we're getting this one out of the way. It's called Bushra, about the titular character is represented as a coyote, and she is from Morocco, and she's a queer filmmaker living in New York. And it's semi-autobiographical, from what I've gathered, about her mother who she contacts in Casablanca, I think this is one of those that had a lot of potential for a great movie, but I think that there was a lot of convolutedness to the storytelling. I think the animation style is fine. It's the same software that they use for Flow that the filmmakers for Flow used.
Yeah, Blender.
Yeah, but it feels very stiff in the wrong ways. Like it came out in the 2000s as opposed to 2020. And this is kind of a weird comparison. I'm not a fan of the other characters being presented as animals. I kind of think it would have been more interesting if they went in the route that Better Man took last year, where Robbie Williams was portrayed as a monkey, everyone else was a human, and that was kind of the point. And I think that had it been kind of the same thing, where Bushra was a coyote, everyone else was a human, that would kind of help show a little bit why the filmmakers chose to make her a coyote. But I think there's just a lot wrong with the editing of this movie, in my opinion. It's cutting. So she's making a movie that's semi-autobiographical about her, and it's like cutting back to scenes in the movie, but sometimes it's real life, but it's not 100% clear about that. Yeah, it's a mess, but I it was intriguing on premise, but I think very much in execution just did not work.
I just thought it was a bit odd, reading about because I really like animated films, and I liked Flow, and I thought it had a nice looking style. I didn't see it, but it just kind of screamed furry to me. Maybe that's misdiagnosing it, but I don't think I was very off the mark. I was like, Eesh.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. Yeah, it was. I mean, there are worse movies I've seen, but this was definitely the low point of the festival for me.
So how many stars?
I have it at two, and I forgot to give you my last couple. True North I have as a 3.5 out of 5, and Sarada I have as a 4 out of 5.
Okay, so Bachura was the next one.
Rental Family,
Okay,
which
and I was there for that, and we met.
yeah, Rental Family. It's directed by Hikari. It's her second film. It's about Brendan Fraser. He plays an actor in Japan who gets hired as at this rental family company, and he gets assigned to do a lot of tasks, such as playing a father figure in a young girl's life so she can get into school. There's him playing a reporter for this actor that is past his prime, but he is still wanting to feel relevant with his interviews. This is just a nice, delightful film. I actually was kind of shocked it didn't win the People's Choice Award or get the runner-up, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of passion behind it at the end of the day because everyone who saw it said, yeah, that was good, or that was nice, then just kind of moved on from it.
Me too.
But I mean, Brendan Fraser, I'm glad he's having this career resurgence after everything he went through. I think Akira Emoto is really funny in this movie. He has also probably the most emotional moment, I feel, and then I like its commentary on the human connection and our need and desire for that. Kind of, it's just a nice, delightful movie.
I enjoyed it, but I won't lie and say I wasn't disappointed because I was a little disappointed because I had seen the trailer. I knew the general plot. Actually, I don't even think I saw the trailer. I just knew the plot. I was going off of that. And I figured it'd be sentimental and schmaltzy, and I was all right with that. Um, I felt like the script held it back. Like I felt like Brendan wasn't given enough emotional weight to anything. Like he didn't really have that much of a journey. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a washed up actor. I gotta do the stupid rental family thing. He was just kind of like, well, I'm doing this, and there might be like one scene where he's like, this sucks, but it's not like I kind of wish he was like this Grinch, like this is lame. What is my career? I also felt like a lot of the characters he would meet, like the old guy who just wants a gamer to game with, like it was just a little too loose. It's kind of it felt like a vibes movie, but like it wasn't funny enough. Like there was comedy, but it wasn't like really laugh out loud funny. Like I can't remember. really any of the jokes. But it wasn't. It was a little schmaltzy, but wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like there's something about where I liked it, but I felt that's a story with a lot of potential, and I just feel like Brendan was pretty good, but he was not great. The script is good, but not great. You know, that's the whole movie. It's good, but not great, but it could have been great, and it could have won People's Choice. And the betting markets online, I read, they had it as the heavy favorite to win People's Choice, and it didn't win. And I think, this is just the reason why. Like impactful, but not to that level. Do you agree with that? Like that was maybe a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I have it as a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That's the thing. It just wasn't. It's not. It wasn't the life of Chuck. That's what it like. A lot of people like. There was a bit of a passion behind the life of Chuck last year when it won the People's Choice Award because there was that. It. I would argue that Rental Family is kind of like not in exactly the same way, but it is a lot like the life of Chuck in terms of its tone and its idea of the not necessarily sappy, but it's very sincere in how it approaches its subject. But I think that that was the big thing. It wasn't. It didn't have that love that something like The Life of Chuck had, which is, I think, the apt comparison.
Yeah, and I think like Life of Chuck, I didn't love it, but I rated it higher than this. It was one of the better things I saw last year for sure. But it's just like Life of Chuck had a great script. Life of Chuck had moments that I still remember now, but there's nothing really in Rental Family that like I don't know if I'll remember a year from now. And honestly, what I remember is just a little spotty.
I'm probably going to give it a rewatch because I know my dad's going to eat this movie up because he loves these types of movies. It's a perfect boomer movie.
Yeah. The other movie I saw, so pulled up Saturday and it really just explored. Festival Street was so much fun with all the vendors out and stuff, and that was really cool. The first movie I saw was Poetic License, directed by Maud Apatow, that starred Andrew Barth Feldman of uh, No Hard Feelings,
Yeah,
and
he's also in Saturday Night.
yeah, yeah, and Cooper Hoffman, who was in Licorice Pizza,
Philip
and
Seymour Hoffman's son.
yeah, Philip Seymour's son, and Leslie Mann. Maud Apatow's directorial debut. She's the daughter of Judd Apatow. She
And Leslie
made,
Mann.
yeah, she made a movie that was overlong and starred Leslie Mann. So she truly is an Apatow. It was better than what I was expecting. People were very kind of pissy about the movie online because like Maud acts like she's not a nepo baby, but she is. Um, I don't really care one way or the other, frankly, but you could easily get a ticket of this film. But the audience, I thought, ate it up. I thought it was okay. It was like a 6 out of 10. The plot, I thought, I couldn't get with it, like, did you see it?
I missed this one. I heard everyone that I heard saw it said it was surprisingly good for what it was.
Yeah, surprisingly good for what it was. It honestly felt like, hey, I just graduated from film school and this is my first movie. Just with the stakes, like, I don't know. It just wasn't a great script. I think now it's saved by the chemistry the two leads and Leslie have because that was nice and genuine. And I did like that. I didn't think it was all that funny, but you could tell they had a fun time. And there was like a genuine chemistry with the characters, and that's what saved it. It's just the plot is implausible. I mean, I could not suspend my disbelief with this one. If you see it, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's like the plot almost has no stakes because like it's so implausible. You're like, bro, that is not gonna happen. But um, I don't know. I'm not gonna really talk about the plot. It's just like It's a cute college movie. It's fine. It's okay. It's no 40-year-old virgin or knocked up or anything.
Okay. Sunday I didn't see the world premiere of it, but I saw the next screening after. I saw it bright and early on Sunday morning. It was surprising, not for the fact that I thought it was going to be bad, but I was kind of worried because it was a studio film. I was worried how much his sensibilities were going to get lost into it, but it was Roofman, directed by Derek Cianfrance.
And I saw that too, and we hung out in the lobby.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was worried about this one going in mostly based on the fact that Derek Cianfrance has not made a studio film before, and this is a Paramount film, so it's like they could easily tell him your sensibilities are too art housey. We need to make this more mainstream, and I think he does do a good job at making it accessible for a mainstream audience, but he doesn't lose his touch on what he normally does talk about, and it's people that do really bad things, but you can see the good in them, and that is what we see here. Roofman's about the Roofman, Jeffrey Manchester, Channing Tatum's best performance in a very long time, in my opinion, and he plays a guy who robbed a bunch of McDonald's, and he escapes prison, and he hides out in Toys R Us for months while he's waiting on Lakeith Stanfield, and then develops a relationship with Kirsten Dunst, who's a Toys R Us employee, and I think that she's really good in it too. I didn't know how much they were going to give her, but she actually has a lot of intriguing moments in the story, and yeah, I really like this. I am glad that it seems that people are really vibing with this one mostly, and yeah, I'm hoping more people see it when it comes out in a couple weeks.
It was super cool that Derek attended our screening. It would have been cool to see Channing, but I get it. Second screening, it wasn't like a premium screening, but it was cool, super cool that Derek was there. I liked it. I didn't love it. Like, I thought it was a 7 out of 10. Like, it was entertaining. I'll give it that. I just like it was no Blue Valentine. It was no auteur masterpiece. I don't think it's going to win any awards, but it was a perfectly fine and fun movie. I just thought it was a little. I thought it was a little overlong, and I was surprised with how much like drama was in it. Like the trailers were kind of like, oh, this is going to be a goofy comedy, but it's more dramedy than anything. Especially
Yeah, I
as it
don't think
went
it's
on.
yeah, I don't think it's anything like Blue Valentine, but I think, when you hear Derek Cianfrance making a studio film like this, you kind of have that worry. It's kind of interesting though. A lot of these auteur filmmakers that are known primarily in the art house scene, this year they all of a sudden are like, I'm going to make my most mainstream film. Like Darren Aronofsky had that with Caught Stealing. Paul Thomas Anderson had that with One Battle After Another. Derek Cianfrance has that with Roofman. I think that they're all just like, you know what? I want to take a break from my usual thing. Let's just make something that fits within my style, but not too heavy on it.
My mom is not a movie person. She didn't even know who Channing Tatum was. And I have a story for you, a quick one after this, but I don't want to. She met a Paramount executive at the bar, and I'll tell you a little behind the scenes story. But she was very stressed out with the film. I was kind of like worried because she really doesn't watch any movies, and it's kind of worried that like she wouldn't like it, and she liked it all right. But that stressed her out because she was just like was stressed for Channing's character. But she also was like, oh, but he's also like a criminal. He sucks. And
That's kind of the thing I've noticed is that he's not necessarily a bad guy. He just did a lot of bad things to try to make ends meet. But he also, I don't know if he's a good guy, but I wouldn't say he's like one of the worst people out there.
it was a little too studio for me. Like I did like the direction. I liked some of the flourishes Derek brought, but I didn't think there was no like PTA with One Battle After Another or something. Like to me, it was just a studio film with a talented guy behind it. Um, it was it was fine. 7 out of 10. Like I think yeah, it could have been a little shorter, but whatever. I mean, I probably will not watch it next weekend, but whatever.
I have it as a 4 out of 5 right now on Letterboxd, but then the next one, um, the emotional gut punch of the entire festival that I saw, Chloe Zhao's Hamnet,
I was there too.
and yeah, I won the People's Choice Award for a reason.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's I don't want to I'm not predicting Oscars this early on because I think it's too early. It's October 1st at the time of this recording, so I'm just going to say it. But I will say I think it's between this or one battle after another for Best Picture currently.
I still think Sinners is in the mix, but I don't know like if the Academy will like give it a pass because it's a horror movie.
I think it's mostly between these two though, cuz what Chloe Zhao does here, she one proved that Eternals was not her fault.
Yeah.
That she was a victim of the Marvel machine. And then two, she does a great job at showcasing how everyone processes grief in the story with Agnes, played by Jessie Buckley. She handles it one way with Shakespeare, played by Paul Mescal. He handles it in another. And I really like that we do kind of get this fantasy perspective as well. Like there's this whole thing with Agnes possibly, like there's this whole talk of Agnes being born of a witch and things like that. And because, it's not meant to be the most historically accurate Shakespeare film, but it's got this great atmosphere to it. I love the cinematography. I think that the production design is great. The costuming is great. I mean, they rebuilt the entire globe for that entire. I think they rebuilt it, or they had to
They
block it
did.
off. Yeah,
No,
they
they did.
rebuilt.
Yeah, they rebuilt it.
Yeah, they rebuilt the globe, and yeah, it just looks incredible. And Jessie Buckley, the two big scenes are like the powerhouse scenes of the year.
Oh
I know
yeah.
some people I know some people are not. I know the ending has kind of gotten divisive responses mostly because of a piece of music that is used at the end, but I still think overall it's a great film.
I thought the ending was just incredible, man. It was just such a gorgeous film from the production design to cinematography to the acting to the script. I don't like Shakespearean dialogue. I did like Shakespeare in Love because that was a great script and that was a very fine
Yeah.
film. I liked it. People say it was gonna be shitty. Now, I think Saving Private Ryan should have won that year, but Shakespeare in Love is a very good film anyway. Um, I didn't like a lot of period pieces. I just don't like the diction. But like this, I'll give it a pass, and I'll probably see it again, knowing what I know now, because it was just great. The ending is incredible, and Jessie deserves Best Actress, even if the film doesn't win Best Picture. I think it should win Best Picture, unless something else comes out in the next few months. But man, powerful film. It's a high art. It's so good. That's like a 9 out of 10 for me.
I have it as a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd right now.
Yeah. Um, oh, let's also shout out Chloe. She did like meditations with us in presenting the film, and that was pretty cool. I liked that. The guy next to
I
me thought it was lame, but I thought it was cool.
I liked it too, and a lot of people online, because people don't touch grass ever, they were like, "This is weird. Why did she make us do this?" She apparently did that at like another screening for Hamnet that was happening. She did it at Telluride. It's not like people need to grow up.
Well, I think she said she would do that on set when they had like a really traumatic scene. Like they would just chill out doing that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was neat. Like she said, hey, you don't have to meditate if you don't want. And I was like, hey, fuck it. I'm here for the ride. And I was like,
Also,
yeah,
I think I didn't realize until the end that the kid from A Quiet Place, that's his brother who plays Hamnet. I did not realize that until they did the Q&A. I was like, wait, what? Why is he? And then I was like, oh, they're brothers.
that would
And then,
suck to be the Quiet Place kid because, like, imagine you're in an incredible film that will probably win Best Picture, and your brother was in a piece of shit, stupid movie, and
I like
that's
A Quiet Place. But also, he's in this movie too. But
oh, is it
also,
really?
like, yeah, he plays Hamlet.
Oh, well, yeah, that's wait, what are you?
No, so
What?
Hamnet is played by Jacoby Jupe,
Yeah.
and his brother plays Hamlet on the stage.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean now.
That's why he was at the
The actor.
Q&A.
I didn't know who that guy was. Wow.
Yeah, it's the kid from A Quiet Place.
Well, Quiet Place slander is still allowed in my podcast. I just and then I saw Quiet Place 2. It was the first movie I saw after the pandemic, and I was at the theater, and I forgot how many stairs there were at the theater, and I fell down a flight of stairs, and I twisted my ankle. So fuck Quiet Place Part 2. Anyway, on to the
Uh,
next film.
the next one I saw is called Julian, which is a French film, I believe. I believe that's. But it's based on a memoir of the same name. It's about two women named Fleur and Julian. They are in love. Julian proposes, and then they go on this adventure because Fleur is a journalist. So what she wants to do is travel the world to the number of countries that gay marriage is legal in, and they want to get legally married in each of those states to uh, help get attention to same-sex marriage. The story takes place in 2018, and then there's an incident after the first couple of countries that they go to that something halts their journey and takes a turn for the worse. It's a bit predictable, but it is very heartbreaking at the same time. But it is also a bit inspiring when you see that how even the whole mere fact that they were wanting to do this in the beginning and they both said, yes, let's do this. That's like really inspiring because they were saying, we're going to put a hold on our jobs. We're going to do all of this for something that we care about. And I think that that's very moving, even if in the end it ends up being going in a heartbreaking direction. And then the last one I saw on Sunday was The Secret Agent, which won the screenplay and I think it won Best Actor, but it did win an award at Cannes. And it has Wagner Moura as a man named Marcel in 1977 Brazil during the military dictatorship who wants to reunite with his son, and he's in hiding, but he finds that the city he takes refuge in is far too gone. It's very riveting from start to finish. It's a spy political thriller, but not like that fist pumping action, fast paced type of spy work. It's a slow burn procedural about a man wanting to survive to the next day. I think Wagner Moura is incredible, gives a career defining performance. If he doesn't get an Oscar nomination, it might actually be a crime against the Academy, but it's very intense. There are a couple things that I think kind of pull it back from it being a great movie, in my opinion. I have it as a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It is about 10 to 20 minutes too long. It is like running close to 3 hours. And there is one sequence that I think, yes, it's important to talk about the idea of government control media, especially given some stuff that has happened in the US recently. But I think that what they chose to do with it kind of went on a little bit too long. And I think it's a very interesting companion piece to I'm Still Here from last year.
What would you give the past two films on Letterboxd?
Like said Hamnet was a 5 out of 5, and then Julian and Secret Agent are both 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. Sunday, I had to fact check something, but I saw Roofman, Hamnet, and then I saw The Christophers by Steven Soderbergh.
Oh, I
And
missed this one.
dude, you did not miss anything because that movie was bad. That was like the worst thing I saw. And I think part of it's just unfair to the film because like it's a very chatty film. It's really just Ian McKellen rambling for like 2 hours. And I like the premise. It was a silly premise, but it just wasn't like really funny to me. But like I said, I mean, third film of the day, and it's just all just kind of like a wry sense of humor. And I just, yeah, it wasn't the right thing for me at the moment. Some people laughed. I think the decent amount of people who said it's pretty boring. I just was so bored because not much even happens, and it kills me. It's written by the creator of Bill and Ted, which is a film I like, and he also wrote or helped write Men in Black One, which is a film I love. And the Christophers, it's very boring. It has James Corden, and I just didn't think it was very funny or like I just didn't find it interesting. And that was one of the toughest 2 hours to get through. And Ian couldn't make it, which also sucked because he's like 85. Um, I mean, Steven Soderbergh's cool, but he's kind of hit or miss. So I'll give that like a 4 out of 10.
I love Soderbergh. I still might check this one out just because I love Soderbergh, but
Yeah.
I won't deny that there are some films in his filmography that I'm. But the thing I respect about Soderbergh, I have not seen the Christopher. I did not see the Christophers. I missed that one. But I like that Soderbergh does not like to make the same movie more than once, especially like you look at Presence and Black Bag from both from this year. Like they're not the same movie, and you could not tell me that, like you could not tell the normal a normie that doesn't go to the movies that often that it's made by the same director.
Yeah. I respect Soderbergh a lot. I just did like it was boring, man. Like it's just not much happened. It's about Ian McKellen is like a famous artist and he's gonna die soon, but he has all this unfinished artwork and his art sells for millions. So like his shitty adult children, like they hire someone to forge his art to finish them so they can sell it once he dies. But then the forgery person like starts bonding with Ian. And it's a really great plot, but I don't know. He just like it's very boomer. He'll just be like uh old man complains about thruples or like AI or something. And it's like, yeah, dude. After like Hamnet, after Roofman, I was like, dude, I cannot do this for 2 hours. And I sat through it, but it was kind of tough.
That premise sounds intriguing, though. Like
It is a
the
good
premise.
premise. It doesn't deliver at all.
Do you have anything else from Sunday?
Yes, I saw Eternity, which was a shocking hit, surprise smash hit. I loved it and it killed me because I was so tired. That was like the fourth film of the day and I was so tired. I actually had to like pinch myself to stay awake and like tap my foot, but it was so good. Did you see it?
I did. I saw it on Thursday, not like the first Thursday, the second Thursday,
Yeah.
and
I
I
loved it.
really liked it. I thought it was actually because it was getting such a positive reception. I thought it was going to be a surprise, like one of the runner-up for the People's Choice Awards.
I thought so too, because people
I,
loved it.
I think that the production design is great. I love Elizabeth Olsen. It's one of the first times I don't want to punch Miles Teller in the face, even though he still has a punchable face. Uh, and then Callum Turner. I know people like to say he's like discount Chris Evans, but he's still good at what he does.
But Divine and Josh, what was his name? Josh Early or Josh Hurd? So good. I
They were
love
funny.
those two. Yeah, they were great in the movie.
I also like that it. does present you this question, like, who, if you were once married, that person died, you remarry a few years later, because there's no, like, I mean, even if the person was alive and they divorced, but there's no like rule saying, well, this person died, you can't remarry. Things like that. It's like, oh, and you have this dilemma in the afterlife. Who would you? And you can only choose one. Who would you choose?
Yeah.
But I think this movie does a good job at having its cake and eating it too.
I think that's a really great premise and it completely delivers. Like this was a 9 out of 10 for me, and I just cannot praise it enough. I loved this film. It was funny. The production design was great. It had almost like an old Hollywood kind of vibe. Like that's definitely a story you would have seen, with Humphrey Bogart and uh, other old actors. I don't know. But it did have kind of like an old fashioned feel to it. Gorgeous film. Funny, thought provoking. Like, dude, I loved it and the theater ate it up. I'm definitely rewatching it when it's out in November.
I am taking some friends to see it because they were asking me about it because it said the trailer looked intriguing. I said, "Oh no, this is the real thing. This is a real deal. It's a good movie. It's I have it as a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd right now. I think it's very good. It might bump up to a 4.5. I just I think that there is a couple things. This is actually no. Scratch that last part. What it reminds me of though is it's like The Good Place meets Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I kind of
That's what the comparison has been.
I kind of saw it as like defending your life, but like with a little romance angle. Which I
Yeah,
don't like defending your life. I like Albert Brooks, but I wasn't so hot on that one. But that one, yeah, you've seen that one?
I have not. No.
Oh, well, that one's about like Albert Brooks dies, and he's in that kind of like place where these characters find themselves, and he has to like defend his life to like a jury. They're like, "You could go to heaven, but did you really live your life?" And I don't know. I didn't care for that, but it's a Criterion film. But this was incredible. I love this and everyone in it, and man, what a great film.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then I oh okay, I barely saw this next one. I went to one Midnight Madness, but Eternity ended at like 11:45, and I was like, all right, I'll see a little bit of Normal with Ben Wheatley and Bob Odenkirk, but only because I love Bob. I want to see Bob, and he showed up, and I watched a little bit of the movie, and then like I was falling asleep, so I had to like dip. Um, I have nothing to say about it other than I want to see it. It was like an American version of Hot Fuzz, kind of, is what it was described as. But Bob Odenkirk is super cool and it's very cool. He was like the one or the biggest celebrity I was most excited to see, I think. So like I had to see him.
I wanted to see that. I could not get tickets to it. It did get distribution. It's coming out early next year, so I will hopefully see it.
Yeah, sucks I gotta wait, but whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's better than some of the other films that just don't have no distribution currently.
All right, so how was your Monday? What happened then?
Oh, I did not start off on a good note on Monday. This is the one I like the romance that just the high concept romance that did not work. Eternal
Ooh.
Return.
I was gonna say, I know what you're gonna say. So I had a ticket of that, but we'll get to that. So you saw Eternal Return, and it was bad. I heard it was kind of not great. Then they were
I
selling tickets for like $10
oh
at one
gosh.
point, and that was a world premiere. And I think only Naomi Scott showed up.
The director was there, and he opened. It was kind of the same thing. Kind of same problem I had when the Charlie Harper director said something that was like, okay, you're really just not trusting your audience when you're having to tell me this one thing. He said that the reason why he likes having his films premiere at TIFF is because the audience is not cynical, and I was just like, oh, you have not met me, my friend, because because I'm a cynic. I'm a cynic as there is, and when it comes to this type of stuff, and I'm okay. I say that, but I'm not someone that can't suspend my disbelief. I do like Naomi Scott in the movie. The basic premise is that she meets a map maker made by Kit Harington, and he says he can create a map to go back in time. And there's a man that Naomi Scott's character loved at one point, but then he died, so she wants to go back to be with him. This movie's just not confident in what it wants to be. I do think Naomi Scott gives a very good performance. She honestly makes this movie like somewhat tolerable to not hate myself watching it. I'm kind of questioning if Kit Harington's a good actor at this point, because after Game of Thrones, I was really excited to see where his career was going to go, because even when that final season rolled in, I still thought Kit Harington actually was good in the final season, even if the writing was bad. But like Eternals, he's not in it very long, but I didn't think he was very good in that. I don't like him here, and I'm just kind of like, is he not good at what he does, or is he just not choosing the right thing? But Simon Cladwell is entertaining in this movie. He plays a supporting character. And I think that there's a lot that is admirable in terms of grief, finding love, living in time, and living in the moment. There's a lot of great ideas to that, but good grief, it's not confident in itself, and it doesn't fully embrace the fantasy elements of the story, in my opinion.
I had a ticket, but I was already like, if I could see everything that Monday, it would have been four films again. And the last two movies were the only ones I cared about. Like Eternal Return was just like, oh, there was nothing else playing that morning. So it was like, screw it, I'll get a ticket. And I got a ticket for that and Bad Apples. And I I like just decided not to go to both. Um, and I just hung out with my mom because she only saw two movies and she was just gonna like hang out in Toronto alone. And she used to live there, so she was just gonna go to old stores. But I was like, it's a lovely day out, and I really can't do four movies again. Like, I don't care about Eternal Return or Bad Apples. Let's just hit the town, and we did, and we had a very nice time. Incredible food, incredible Italian food, and I'm glad I decided not to see Eternal Return because every review I saw on Reddit, people were like, it's just average at best, and it was very long and kind of went off the rails. So,
Um,
so what
my
was the
the
next
rest
thing you saw?
the rest of the Monday was great. I saw
Okay.
Hedda, and much like what Chloe Zhao experienced with Hamnet, this proved that Nia DaCosta can actually make a good film, and she is not, and The Marvels was not her fault. And if you don't know what Hedda is, it's an Ibsen play, and this is a very new adaptation of it. There's a lot of new takes on it. It takes place at a different time period. It takes place in mid 20th century America. It's a queer story as opposed to her the lover the so Hedda is married to, oh
A
gosh, what's her
guy,
husband?
a
Yes.
dude, but she likes a lady.
Well, it's not really that. Well, well, she's bisexual. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cut that part out. Um, she's married, but her past life, her husband is wanting to get this job. It would pay very well. They would get to live in this lifestyle. But her husband's competitor is a former lover of Hedda. And in the play, it's just another man in the old text. But in this adaptation, it's a woman. And I think that actually brings a new twist to the story. I think that it's really strong. I love the cinematography here. There's a great nod to Spike Lee with the dolly shot being used in one moment. I think this is Tessa Thompson's best performance. Nina Haas as Hedda's former lover and her husband's competitor. Great in this. The production design, the costumes, it's very fast paced. It's a shame it's going to Amazon Prime because this was fun to see with the crowd. And yeah, I really vibed with this. Hildur, I can never say her last name. The composer from Joker.
Hilda, yeah, yeah, Hilda. It's like a G last name.
Yeah,
She's
uh,
pretty
she
good.
she did the score for this one, and it's very good. Yeah, this actually might be my favorite world premiere at TIFF in terms of world premieres, not carryovers.
Hedda was crazy because I didn't see it, but that was one of the first movies that TIFF announced they had. And I really liked their lineup this year, but they're like, we got Hedda. I just read the plot. I was like, wow, that sounds boring. And I did see the trailer at the theater, and it just kind of looks like, even if I think it would look bad, it looks kind of fun bad. But maybe it's good. I don't know. It didn't really seemed very debutante, but then the trailer makes it look kind of crazy.
It is crazy. It's the play takes over the course of days. This takes place over the course of a night.
Yeah. Um, at least it looks like it doesn't look so stuffy, It looks like crazy shit happened. So at least it's got that going for it. I'm glad I got an eternity over it though.
I I think Hedda is, like I said, it's my personal favorite of the world premieres of TIFF, but it's not your grandmother's Hedda.
Yeah, I think Eternity would be my favorite world premiere, but I don't know, like I think Smashing Machine wasn't supposed to go to Venice and then it did, or something like that. And like I know Frankenstein got the rug pull, like that was gonna be a world premiere, and then it went to Telluride the week before.
No, it was at Venice.
No, Frankenstein? Wait, yeah, you're right. There was something like it was gonna be a
It
world
was
premiere and then it went to Telluride or something.
it went to Telluride as a surprise screening.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. So then that was just a Canadian premiere. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Um, Eternity was probably my favorite like world premiere, and then like Rental Family was probably second. But so much of the stuff I saw was just like you know the North American premiere, which I mean that's super cool too.
Well, the next one I saw after Hedda, I saw the Midnight Madness People's Choice winner, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Did
And
you watch the show first?
I
Or?
had never seen it before, but I had seen Blackberry, which is what Matt Johnson directed last. And I liked Blackberry, so I kind of was like, okay, I like Blackberry, maybe I'll like this one. This movie is so ridiculous, but in all the right ways. It's so funny. It has like really fun riff on time travel stories. Uh, it's kind of like Canadian Naked Gun. That's kind of what I would have to describe it as.
I want to see that, but like, I never Nirvana is my favorite band, but I've never
Has
seen
nothing to do with
Nirvana.
the band.
Yeah, I've never seen Nirvana the band, the show, which for the audience, it's like a Canadian web show, I think. Or
Yes,
just
and I hadn't
yeah,
either, but I did get interested in checking it out afterwards. I have not checked it out yet, but I'll say as someone who never watched their web show, I was not lost. It gets you in the first few minutes, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's little over an hour and a half. It's coming out next spring, I think,
really.
because yeah, it's picked up by Neon. Yeah, I'm excited to see it again. I did miss the ending though, because I had to leave like the last 5 minutes because I had to get to my last screening of the night, which was Park Chan Wook's No Other Choice.
Ooh, I saw the other big film that night. So, the one thing about Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, I will say before we move on, yeah, I don't know nothing about it really. I will say, like, I follow YMS and Canadians on the TIFF subreddit. and fans of the show loved the movie. I think YMS was like 10 out of 10, and he's a harsh critic, but I don't know if he'll actually give it a 10, but he loved it. And a lot of people who are fans of the show loved it. So, hey, there's that. But
I'd never watched the show and I loved it. So
no other choice. That sounded really cool. And people are saying like the Academy should at least nominate it for Best Picture.
yeah, yeah. They have not nominated a single Park Chan-wook film at all, which is kind of a crime against film history. But yeah, Park Chan-wook's about a family man who gets laid off from his job, and he is working to claw back his dignity by any means necessary. And that's all give away because I think the less you know about this going in, the better. But in terms of premise, but Park Chan Wook as a filmmaker, I ask myself every time I see it, how does he do it every time? Because he is there. He puts the camera in places I did not even know would be possible, and the cinematography on this movie is gorgeous. Like the way the greens look, it's like this and Hamnet. I'm like, these two bits of cinematography make green look good, and no other choice. It's got these great editing transitions. Park Chan Wook is always known for editing movies in a unique way. He tries to find unique editing style to it, and it's works really well here. There's a really funny fight sequence that I won't get into, but it's real might be one of the funniest things I've seen all year. And Lee Byung-hun gives a great performance here. He is, and it's also a lot funnier than I thought it would be. It's very much a dark comedy. I mean, Park Chan-wook is kind of known for doing dark humor, but when it started, I said this feels like a very different change of pace for Park Chan-wook. This feels a little bit more normal compared to his other movies. But then plot really starts rolling in. I was like, oh no, this is a Park Chan-wook film through and through.
Yeah, her is a funny film. Yeah, I didn't see it, and I'd like to see it. I think it has distribution, which is great.
It's coming out on Christmas Day from Neon.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll definitely see it when it comes out. 1 out of 10, or 1 stars out of 5. What would you give it?
Oh, it's at a 4.5 out of 5.
Nice. Yeah, Monday was a very pleasant day. Did not see Eternal Return, and I'm happy about that. Did not see Bad Apples. Heard that was pretty good, actually. But
I didn't.
oh, you didn't like it?
I did not hear good things about Bad Apples.
I heard people just people on Reddit. That was fun. I didn't see it. Saoirse couldn't be there, and that sucks. Um, but I ended up seeing Blue Moon. I saw that with my mom, and it was not a premium screening, but Ethan Hawke and Richard Linklater and Andrew Scott and Bobby Cannavale still showed up, which was very cool. And they even did a Q&A with the audience, and that didn't really happen. They were cool enough to just talk to people, so that was pretty cool. It was a very good film. It was about did you see Blue Moon?
I saw it on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was like an 8.5. It was very chatty, so I'm glad like that wasn't the third movie of the day, or else it probably would have died. But the script is really tight. Linklater, I don't think it was written by him, but like that's just his style is super chatty movies, and it sucked me in a way that like the Before trilogy did too. I really like this. Um, it's about what's that guy's name? Leonard Hart. It's something Hart.
Uh, it's
Rogers and Hart. I know there's not much, but Hart, the
Lorenz Hart.
Lawrence Hart. Yes, yes, Lawrence Hart, the musician, songwriter guy. He is crashing out for 2 hours, and he has a lot to say at the bar. But man, I felt like it was a very nice looking film too. The color grading, it felt really classy, even though it's very kind of crude. But I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll watch it when it comes out, I think later this month, but it was great. 8.5.
Yeah, I have it as a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd right now. I think it's a very good movie overall. I
Yeah.
like Ethan Hawke's performance. I think it's his best work since First Reformed. Uh, I kind of like this like look at a guy who he's not of his time. He doesn't make mainstream art in the way that Rodgers and Hammerstein did because Oklahoma's this crowd pleasing musical, whereas Lorenz Hart wanted to make something a little bit more deeper. He is also having to deal with the fact that he's semi-closeted. People know that he is gay, but he can't fully say it outright. But he also has to live in that bubble as well, where he can't be his true self in his art or in his personal life. And yeah, I like just the vibes of Richard Linklater films. I'm glad that I saw both of his films that screened at TIFF. I'll get to the other one in a little bit.
Ooh, my final film was Smashing Machine. I was at the premiere for that. Kevin O'Leary sat 2 seats behind me, which was very cool, but I couldn't like talk to him. He's too far away. Otherwise, I'd like start pitching shit at him, you know. Um, Smashing Machine, I was very underwhelmed, unfortunately. I actually read the IGN review for it today, and they just gave it a 7, and I about agree with that. Like, IGN said there are great moments in it, but the overall package isn't great. It's good, but not great. I don't think The Rock gave that great of a performance. I just think people are shocked he can act decently. But I couldn't see Mark Kerr. Now I'm not a UFC like fan or anything. I didn't know who Mark Kerr was, but it was so weird because like The Wrestler is such an amazing movie that kind of covers a lot of same beats, but The Wrestler is so much more emotionally involved. Like it felt there was no weight behind anything in Smashing Machine. Like did you see it?
I saw it Tuesday.
I felt like let's say a character does drugs and it would be so passive. Like I know it's a documentary style, but when like in The Wrestler, when Mickey Rourke's character would like do something like self-harm, like there was impact. There was emotional impact. There was like nothing. You know, I love the scene where like there's Bruce Springsteen's Jungle Land near the end. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I
Like
do.
the fight, that was really great. I love the fair scene and I love that scene, but like, it's because shit actually happened. Like, so much, like, do you agree? Like, so much of it was just weightless. Like, there's no consequence or much of it, or just like something happened, a character would just be told like, oh, you know, this character's in trouble, and they're like, what? And then they go and like the wrestler, like you know, he had a heart attack, and that was this big moment in the movie, the wrestler, uh, and that was so much of that is just like a heart wrenching film because they know how to like deliver that impact. But Smashing Machine, there was just none of that except for the Jungle Land scene and maybe like one or two other scenes. But
I think the difference is that The Wrestler's not based on a true story.
I mean, true, but they like covered the same themes, like drug abuse and you know, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but drug abuse and like strained relationships and stuff like that. You know,
I
like you
think
could.
that I think that Dwayne Johnson gives a good performance in it. I mean, saying it's his best is not saying a whole lot, but it's still probably his best performance.
I agree.
I would also say a lot of it's the makeup work. I think that's what a lot of it is, as well as a lot of people are saying. This I didn't even recognize it was The Rock. I think that's more about the makeup team rather than
I don't
his
know.
work.
I don't know how they even say that because, like, I could not see him as anyone but The Rock.
Um, I think Emily Blunt's good.
She was
I
pretty
just,
good.
I just don't like the way her character's written.
I don't. I just. I was so underwhelmed, dude, and it's kind of sad. But like, I
I
think it
don't.
was Venice really overhyped it.
I don't get the director award going to Benny Safdie at Venice.
Yeah, I don't get that either, dude. Like,
Especially when you look at the last few films that, or last few directors, like Brady Corbet won for The Brutalist, Jane Campion wins for The Power of the Dog at Venice. I'm just kind of like, I don't see anything special. That's nothing against Benny Safdie. I'm also excited to see what Josh Safdie does with Marty Supreme, but I don't know. This is kind of, in my opinion, just like I think when it focuses on the more human moments, it's fine, but it does something kind of similar to Problem with Christie, where it does kind of just fall into those tropes of sports biopic. Let's check all the boxes.
yeah, I agree because like, so many cliches you see in other movies, like The Wrestler, kind of like The Iron Claw. Um, even kind of Raging Bull, but like this is just not like those. I don't know. I might rewatch it just to see like maybe I'll like it more on rewatch, but I don't know. Like it was a 7. It wasn't a bad movie. It just not what I was hoping for.
I have it as a 3.5 out of 5. All right, I'm gonna steamroll through the rest of the things I saw.
Sure. And that was
All
it
right,
for me. I mean, I only saw 8 movies and those were it.
all right.
So what else you see?
Wednesday. All right, Tuesday for me. I saw Guillermo del Toro's
You
Frankenstein.
lucky
Wh-
bastard.
Um,
I could
I
see
thought it was
that.
I thought it was good, not great.
I've heard,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, I mean, it was one of the runner up for the People's Choice Awards. I know people are loving it. I'm not trying to take that away from people, but I think there's a lot to love about it. Its crafts are great, production design, costumes, makeup, the creatures makeup specifically on Jacob Elordi, Alexandre Desplat's score. I really like Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi. Uh, I just think that I think the third act really goes on too long. I think once, because the story of Frankenstein's not new. The beginning, it's focused mostly on the perspective of the scientist. The second half is mostly focused from the creature, and then it all kind of comes together in the end. I just thought it was a little too slow in the end. It does hit by the end, but I mean, this is Guillermo del Toro. Him on his worst day is still better than a lot of other people's.
Okay. What else you see?
I saw Dinner with Friends, which was kind of just one that I saw. I was just kind of filling in the schedule. And it's about a group of friends that just haven't seen each other for a while. And then they start having dinner parties, and we kind of learn about different moments throughout their lives over the course of a year. And I thought it was fine. I think it does a good job at showing why maintaining friendships is important over the years, but I think it juggles a lot and struggles on who to focus on in certain story beats for a bit because it's like 8 characters, and so they're trying to give each one a different type of focus on each section. Um, there's also a lot of communication issues like between these characters that I'm like, for an example, like 2 of the characters are in a relationship, and one of the other people in that group is the guy's sister, and they're living under the same roof right now to take care of their mother, and they like get really big news about something, and I'm like, you didn't tell her this, and you're living under the same roof? Okay. You don't really go into that. Okay, but it was fine. Then I saw Smashing Machine and Blue Moon on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I saw one of my personal favorites of the festival, which is going to be a divisive film, but I am in the bag for these two anyways. It was The Testament of Anne Lee
Ooh,
from Mona Fastfeld. She is the collaborator and romantic partner of Brady Corbet. They both co-write and then they just rotate who directs. Brady Corbet did The Brutalist last year, and this year it's Mona with The Testament of Anne Lee. That is coming out some point later this year and then going into next year because it just got acquired by Searchlight.
did. Um, yeah, it wasn't really on my radar because I didn't have a chance to see it, but I'll watch it.
It's for those that do not know who Ann Lee is the founder of the Shakers, uh, which is a denomination of Christianity. It's a musical, but it's not a musical in the traditional sense. It takes hymns of from the Shakers and makes music sequences out of them, but it's not out of abnormal behavior for the Shakers. Like apparently they would do a lot of dances in groups and stuff like that, and a lot of the choreography is from the stuff that they did as a group in that time frame. And so it's very interesting. Amanda Seyfried is fantastic in it. It's easily her best performance. Uh, and Lewis Pullman's in it. He's pretty good. He was actually at the screening with Mona Fastfeld.
Nice.
They did a Q&A. Christopher Abbott's in it. Tim Blake Nelson's in it for like 5 minutes. Yeah, no, it's a movie that you either are on board with it or not. I really think it actually is an interesting companion piece to The Brutalist because it does also kind of comment on the American dream and things like that about you go to America for this idea of freedom and freedom of religion and things like that, but it's at the backdrop of the Revolutionary War, and the whole idea of freedom of religion isn't really quote unquote allowed. They're not doing things in the American way. It's very interesting to contrast the two because the brutalist Laszlo is like he's trying to adapt to American ideals so that he can fulfill his dream of working as an architect, but he's seeing all the contradictions. And here, the Shakers are not really doing anything to hurt other people, but yet society is treating them like they're menaces. It's very interesting. I think some people might not find it as interesting as The Brutalist because Anne Lee is not a she's not a full on she's not a character compared to Laszlo because this is told from the perspective of Thomasin McKenzie's character. But something I think is kind of interesting is it's more of just telling. It's kind of like how it's telling the story of someone from their perspective and how they're passing it along to other people. But yeah, I was on board with The Testament of Anne Lee. My next movie, quite disappointing, Ballad of a Small Player. It's from Edward Berger, who did All Quiet on the Western Front and Conclave. Has Colin Farrell, and he plays a gambling addict. There's a
Very,
lot. There's a lot of stuff that works in this movie, but it all doesn't come together for a good one at the end. It has good cinematography. The score is very good, and Colin Farrell's very good in it. And the editing is very stylistic and it's cool. This story just goes in bizarre directions that I was not a fan of. I could not stand it. The first half was honestly pretty solid, then the second half it just goes on for too long. Tilda Swinton wasted in this movie. She has one scene in The Killer, and she has more to do than that. I like Edward Berger. I liked his last two films, but unfortunately this one didn't do it for me.
yeah, it's getting very mixed reviews. I'm kind of on the fence. I mean,
It'll be on Netflix, so I mean, if you're
um,
not vibing with it, you can just turn it off.
yeah, true. Okay, what next?
Another one that I'm kind of torn on, but one I kind of liked a little bit more, but it was The Wizard of the Kremlin, which
I,
is
I heard that was not that great. It's kind of disappointing.
it's it starts off strong, It's not a true. It's kind of a true story, but it's not. It's loosely inspired by Vladislav Surkov, uh, and Paul Dano plays like the stand-in for him, Vadim Barnov, and he goes into the '90s after the Soviet Union collapse, and he starts off as an artist, then he works in media, and then he becomes a prominent political figure. He is the one that kind of helps create the rise of Vladimir Putin, and I think everything with his character was kind of interesting, even though he does not attempt a Russian accent to save his life. Neither does Jude Law, who honestly he may not attempt a Russian accent, but he gets everything else about Vladimir Putin down to a T. I think that there's a lot to be said here. Like, it does talk about, once again, another prominent issue that America's facing now, where it's political leaders deciding what the media covers or how the media covers things and what the media says about its leader. I think that that's kind of interesting, but I think that it's just so long. It's 2.5 hours.
Uh,
It's, and I don't mind long movies. I mean, One Battle After Another, I said it's like nearly 3 hours long, and it's like one of the fastest 3 hour movies I've sat through. But it's kind of one of those things where you just feel it. It could have been a good companion piece to The Apprentice, but The Apprentice was actually a good movie in my opinion. But I just, yeah, I was not a. I thought it was fine. It just felt like a miniseries, kind of all stitched together. Um, but yeah, then I ended Wednesday with a on a high note. I saw Nouvelle Vague.
that's
Uh,
something I really want to see. But damn, dude, I just was not in town for it. Did you like Blue Moon or Nouvelle better?
Blue Moon.
Okay, so I didn't miss that much, but I'll still watch it.
Uh, yeah, Nouvelle Vague. It's about the making of Breathless in the French New Wave. Uh, it's to me, it's kind of like, all right, what if the Disaster Artist or Ed Wood was made, but the movie actually turned out good? That's kind of the way it felt, and I say that as a compliment. It's pretty much it's a words. It's a Richard Linklater hangout movie, but about the making of one of the most influential films ever made. Guillaume Marbeck is great as Jean-Luc Godard, and Zoe Dutch gives her best performance of her career so far as Gene Seberg. And yeah, I think Jean-Luc Godard's rolling in his grave right now, though, knowing that it's going to be a Netflix release, not in cinemas. But
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. It just looks like a cool vibe movie.
all right. Thursday, I saw Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. I say this, even though I still like the movie, it's my least favorite of the three. I like the tone that Ryan Johnson goes for here. It's more supernatural. It goes for a little bit of a darker tone. I also like that it comments a little bit more on a different thing, whereas the first two Knives Out films, well, I hate that they're called Knives Out, the Knives Out series. Call them Benoit Blanc mysteries. Anyways, but with Knives Out and Glass Onion, he's commenting more on like the Eat the Rich satire. Here, it's more of focusing on the hypocrisy of religion, of those involved with it, and even leaders in the church. I think that Daniel Craig, he's great as Benoit Blanc as he usually is. Josh O'Connor is easily the best part of the movie, though, because Benoit Blanc doesn't really come in for a while. It takes like a good hour before he shows up. And then the thing that's kind of pulling me back from loving it as much as the first, as much as Knives Out, and kind of a little bit less than Glass Onion, is that it doesn't really have much of an ensemble focus this go around. It's really more of a focus on Josh O'Connor's character, whereas the last two, you really felt like there was a group core to the cast, whereas here they get moments, but they're not. They don't feel as much of like an ensemble compared to the first two.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But the cast is still good. Like, they do get good moments, but that was kind of the one letdown for me. But overall, I would still recommend it. And once again, I'm just upset it's not going to get a wide theatrical release because it was fun to see with the crowd.
Yeah, like it would have been cool to go to the world premiere, but at the same time, like I probably would not have seen Poetic License. But I might see Knives Out 3. I mean, I've seen part of Glass Onion, but I didn't care for it. I just thought the original was fine, but I mean, that's just something like, yeah, I'll just watch, hey, sure, whatever. But what's the next one you saw?
I saw Eternity and we talked about that. And the last one I
Yeah.
saw Thursday was Adulthood. Oh God,
Is that
another
the
low.
Midnight Madness?
No,
Okay.
it wants to be one so badly though.
I think I kind of heard that from someone else.
It's stars Kaya Scodelario, I can never say her name, and Josh Gad. They're two siblings whose lives are turned upside down when they discover a dead body in their parents' basement. And in all honesty, that premise is not as they don't live up to the fun of that premise as much as they could have.
I don't know how fun that premise would really be because that'd just be
For
kind
a
of
dark
fucked up.
comedy, it could be pretty fun.
All right, all right. As a comedy show, I didn't know it was a comedy, so there you go. But
It's a dark.
I guess Josh Gad should have told me that.
Anthony Kerrigan is the best part of the movie. He's had kind of a nice breakout with Death of a Unicorn and Superman, and now this. I mean, he's easily the best part of it. For a movie called Adulthood, though, they don't really focus on the fact that Josh Gad's kind of a man-child until like the very end. For some reason, they like it's just a mess. But it's going to Paramount Plus. It's not going to be anything like if you just turn it on the background, you won't miss it a whole lot. Going into Friday, though, I saw John Candy, I Like Me. That's the only other documentary that I saw. It's directed by Colin Hanks, who, yes, is Tom Hanks' son. It's about the life of John Candy, and it covers more than just his career, though. It goes through his health issues and also his other side gigs that he did while he was alive. He owned a football team in Canada, for example. And I think it just shows like the impact John Candy had in the 80s and that he was taken from us too soon. Was a very charismatic actor. He was very kind to a lot of people, and it's very clear that he had this very positive impact, and not just on the people who saw him in movies, but also the people he worked with.
That would have been a fun premiere to go to on opening night. Like, if only just to see like Ryan Reynolds. Uh,
And then I saw Scarlet, which is an
ooh,
anime film.
that's Pog. I wish I saw that, but that was like not when I was in town. I heard it wasn't very good though. Like it was just kind of disappointing.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I think it's weird because there was already a Hamlet with
Riz Ahmed.
yes, with Riz.
And then
And then there
there's
was
Hamnet.
Hamnet, and then there's Scarlet, which is also just Hamlet.
Yeah, except this one's actually got like a unique I mean, Riz Ahmed's Hamlet, from what I heard, had a unique premise to it as well. But Scarlet, yeah, it's follows a princess named Scarlet who fails to avenge her father's murder. She wakes up in the land of the dead and has to seek revenge on her nemesis and reach what's called no end place, or she becomes a void and ceases to exist. And I think it's an interesting twist on the Hamlet story because it takes place in the afterlife mostly. Uh, and I do think the animation is stunning. I think that alone is worth any price of admission. It comes out in December from Sony Pictures Classics. And then I think there's one thing that really kind of pulls me back from loving it as much as I do wanted to, and that is there's some lore in the Land of the Dead that isn't fully explored to its fullest potential. Like there's one character that is from the modern day, and so Scarlet sees like how modern medicine works and things like that. But really there's not much. It's either characters from her time period and this one character from the future, and there's a couple references to modern weapons, such as like, because this takes place in medieval times, there's pistols being used for the first time in this afterlife from certain people, but they don't really explore that as much. But it's still really good. It's still pretty good. And like I said, the animation is stunning.
Yeah, it looked, just looking at like the poster. Yeah, I wish I saw it, but I don't think it got like great responses, but I'll still see it. I like Hosoda's filmography.
It's not my favorite of his filmography, but it's still better than a lot of other things seen still. And then the last one I saw, oh wait, no, I saw two more on Friday. I saw Arco on Friday as well, so I had that after Scarlet. And this actually might be my favorite animated film of the year. It's about a kid named Arco who lives in a future world where people travel by flying, and they use these costumes that create rainbows so that when they land, nobody like questions how they landed. It's just like, oh, it looks like a rainbow formed out of the sky and things like that. And he goes into this time period, and he befriends a young girl, and they try to get him back home. It's kind of like Castle in the Sky and the Wild Robot had a child.
It's interesting because the trailer released and people are clowning on it, but I saw the Hollywood Reporter or one of these sites. The reporters were like, or were asked, like, would your five most likely best animated feature contenders be? Like, what would be number one? And most of them said Arco, which surprised me because it didn't like, I didn't see anyone talking about it at TIFF online. I'm trying to think about like, I mean, I know like like Pixar kind of flopped this year with Elio. Um, there's a Sylvain Chomet film, Marcel, that I really want to see this month. But I am really curious what will win, and maybe it will be Arco. I don't know.
uh, I mean, it could be K-pop Demon Hunter still.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like, that was so big culturally. That's the one I was thinking about. If not like Zootopia 2, you know, because
problem
that's
is,
still
unless
coming
you're
out.
problem is unless you're Toy Story, the Academy does not like honoring sequels in that category.
Well, they used to have a rule that was like, well, there's no rule that you had to watch the movie. So like Disney and Pixar would keep winning, and people found out that like, they don't watch the movies. They just pick like, oh, which one's Pixar? I'll pick that. And the tens, I think Rango and Spider-Verse were the only two non-Disney Pixar films to win the whole decade. But then at the end of the decade, when they made this rule, then you had movies like Flow, um, the Miyazaki film that released in 23, The Boy and the Heron. So Flow, Boy and the Heron, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and it's been years. It's been since 21 when um, Encanto won, and Disney Pixar has not won since.
They haven't won since Soul, but
Or
also
21, yeah, 21 is Encanto and Soul, and then before then,
well, no,
yeah.
Soul was 2020, and then Encanto was 21.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Encanto, it hasn't been since then, which is kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, I think not to go on this crazy tangent, but I'm really into animation, and yeah, I think Rango by Paramount and Sony's Spider-Verse 2 didn't even win across. It was Into the Spider-Verse that won in 18, and that was a big upset. Um, yeah, those were the only two that whole decade where a Disney movie did not win. And then now it's cool because they let movies like Flow win, and they let movies like Boy and the Heron win, and an
I think
animated
even
film
I think
hadn't
even
won
if
Spirited Away.
Floatin', I think even if Floatin' went, it still probably would have been the Wild Robot, which is DreamWorks. But
And that was Flow was a TIFF movie, and Wild Robot was a TIFF movie. It was I had a choice: Wild Robot, Flow, or Piece by Piece last year. I picked I think I picked Wild Robot and I swapped my ticket for Piece by Piece, the Pharrell Williams documentary, and that was actually pretty good.
But
But
yeah,
anyway,
no, Arco is probably my favorite animated film of the year. And then I ended Friday on The Lost Bus,
I
which
heard that was
has,
very good.
it was okay. It's fine. It's from Paul Greengrass. He's very good at doing these types of films. If you've seen United 93 or Captain Phillips, he does this pretty well. It's about a 2018 campfire in California, and it's about a bus driver played by Matthew McConaughey who has to navigate a bus full of children and a teacher played by America Ferrera uh, through California's deadliest fire in history. Um, he does a great job of putting you in these situations like as if you're really there. And I think this is McConaughey's first time. He has another movie that premiered at South by Southwest, but it's his first time since The Gentleman that he's been in a movie that's not Sing. And then, but yeah, he's still got it. America Ferrera's good in it. I hate saying it like this. Some of the kids are not good in this movie, but I hate saying it like that. But some of them got really annoying after a while. They like get through something and they're like, "Are we gonna die?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, calm down."
So wait,
But
you're telling me that the movie was only all right, all right, all right?
uh,
Ah.
the other thing that pulls me back, I understand it's a safety thing, but CGI fire does not look that good. I think there's a couple times where they blend practical and CGI pretty well, but like I think they need to do a better job at that. I think CGI fire just doesn't look good. I also don't know what it is. Apple cinematography, a lot of their movies just look so freaking ugly. Like there's that Apple sheen to it, and I'm just kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, I totally get that.
But going into Saturday, the last day, when we're almost done, I saw Homebound, which is about two boys in India who want to become police officers to get some respect because they are part of a caste system that they are looked down upon, and so they are wanting to gain respect. And it's they're as they are getting closer to the goal, there are moments of straining their friendship, but also a lot of strong moments to bring them together. It takes place over the course of a couple of years. It gets a little episodic in its storytelling, but it talks about it a lot. But it does it pretty well with comments on religion because both the characters are Muslim, and so there's some Islamophobia from them on that. In their society, there's the caste system. Goes into friendship pretty well. It talks about society and class issues very well, and it leaves on this very emotionally poignant ending that I think is very sweet but sad at the same bittersweet. And it's executive produced by the GOAT, Martin Scorsese.
Nice.
And then the last, the next one I saw was If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You,
Ooh.
which has Rose Byrne. She's not a single mother. She's married, but her husband, who is played by Christian Slater, is not home that often because he is a pilot. And kind of the struggles that she is going through by having to take care of her daughter, who's not feeling very well. Rose Byrne's great in this. This is very intense. It's a lot of people were trying to compare this to Uncut Gems. It's not exactly like Uncut Gems where that movie makes you anxious because everything's loud and everyone's talking over each other and things like that. This is just anxious because it's just got intense moments, but it's not because everyone's yelling. It's kind of like if Night Bitch was actually good. If you
Yeah.
saw that last year,
Oh my God, I did see that at TIFF. I saw that at like 8 a.m. or some shit. No, I hated that movie.
I thought it was fine, but this is a much better movie. And Conan O'Brien's in it. He actually gives a good performance.
My mom loves Conan, and it's really sad because he didn't show up but she watches him all the time. But we wouldn't have been there anyway. That was like close to the second weekend.
Yeah, Rose Byrne's great. I think she should get an Oscar nomination for this. I'm not sure. I think it might happen given that Best Actress has kind of started to thin out a little bit, which is kind of weird because it's never been a category to thin out. Usually that's the embarrassment of riches, and Best Actor is kind of the one you have to like figure out. There was always like the two locks, and then everywhere else it's like, okay, who else are we putting in? Here it's kind of flipping, and I think that it's working in Rose Byrne's favor because she is fantastic in this. It comes out in a couple weeks actually, and then I saw,
Yeah,
yeah, really good movie, and also has a good ending.
nice.
Then I saw the 35 millimeter print of Jaws. I mean, not much more to be said. It's Jaws.
That's the best damn movie you saw the whole 2 weeks. Perfect
uh,
film, absolute classic.
and then I ended on the Palme d'Or winner from Cannes, Jafar Panahi's "It Was Just an Accident."
I heard that was very good, but I didn't
It
see it.
it comes out in a couple weeks from Neon. I don't know if it's doing a platform release or if it's just going wide, but it's about an accident that happens and it something and all the chain of events that happen. So it's an automobile accident, and the car shop owner recognizes the owner of the vehicle, and he goes on this hunt for him because of him being a part of the Iranian regime, and the car shop owner was tortured. That's all really get into it because it goes further into it, but it's well directed, it's well acted. Jafar Panahi has been making the rounds on the festival run because he had to flee Iran from as he was making this because he has made a lot of films, including this one, that are very critical of the Iranian government. This still, in my opinion, has the best ending to a film I've seen this year. No matter what, even if it's not my favorite film of the year, it has the best ending. It's like it ends right at the perfect time.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't really know anything about it, just people liked it, but I'm intrigued by the premise, so I'll check it out. But that was everything.
Yeah.
Wow. You saw a lot more movies than I did, but that's cool. I don't know, maybe I just can't watch movies like I used to, but man, that was a really great TIFF. Are you gonna go again next year?
If everything lines up, then yes.
Yeah, I hope I'll be there as well. Because it was the most fun I've had in months. TIFF is turning 50, so we're gonna call it the best film festival in the world.
Happy Tifty.
Yeah, I wish they had the pre-roll ads on YouTube so I could watch them before I watch other movies. You know, the Cafe Varda, catchy, uh, music video thing that was good, and
What's a
the
bomb back?
I fucking hated that one. No, I don't want to see that one ever again. That was corny. Tifty was very corny, but I could vibe with the cringe. But the Christmas thing was like, nah, dude.
Well, they had other ones that they were riffing on. They had like an action riff one and a horror movie one that came. Those came out later.
Really? Wow, I missed some. Fuck. We love so effortlessly. We love so effortlessly. Fuck. You know, that one I think was from last year. So it was like seeing an old friend. And the Cafe Vardo was from last year. Tifty was new. The shitty Christmas ad was new. I don't know. There's one I'm forgetting. Oh, there's the one with the credit card, and the lady's like, never date a man who orders risotto. You know, that was new, but that was forgettable. I didn't like that one. That wasn't like cringy like all the other ones. Tiff is turning 50, so we're calling it Tifty. Oh my God, dude. Like that's probably burned into your brain because you saw like 35. instances of this pre-roll shit.
Yeah, I did.
That's got terrible. My mom, she was in town like a week or two ago, and like we were just in the car, and I was just doing the Cafe Varda theme song, like da 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 clap clap da 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 clap clap. She's like, "Ah, fucking don't around me." She's like, "That's the worst." I was like, "Mom, you only saw two movies. I saw eight." And I'm gonna tell her, my buddy Brian, and you even met her at Roofman. I'll be like, Brian watched that shit 35 times. You don't see him complaining. What's a bomb back? Get out of here, Linda. This is gonna be really funny for the audience listening who did not attend TIFF. Like, Ryan, what the fuck is he talking about? But TIFF was so magical, and I got a cool Criterion hat and a cool Criterion shirt, and I love those magazines they just gave out, and I don't know, it was a really epic time. And I made a buddy, Brian, that was cool. And I didn't really meet a whole lot of people, but maybe I'll get an industry pass next year.
Hmm.
But super solid time. I encourage everyone to go to TIFF. I guess, Brian, what's your best film runner-up, worst film runner-up? Because I'll just say mine. I think Eternity might be my favorite, but best is Hamnet, and then Eternity is a runner-up. The worst is Christopher's, and then there's a long gap between that and the runner-up, Poetic License.
My best was Hamnet. My runner-up was that's between another choice or sentimental value, and then my worst was Bushra, and then my runner-up was Adulthood on that one on that side.
Sounds like I mean, you got a lot of good movies crammed in there, which is great. And like the only one I didn't like was Christopher's. And I mean, I saw Night Bitch last year, and I saw some garbage last year, but I was just so happy to be there. It was my first TIFF that, yeah, I mean, I couldn't get into Nora. I couldn't really get into anything, so I was just throwing darts. I mean, I saw Life of Chuck, and that was cool, but it wasn't like the premiere or anything, it was just the random screening on like Saturday, 8 a.m. But that's like garbage last year. This year was awesome, dude. We saw so many cool people, and yeah. Well, Brian, it's about closing time for the Rock Shop. Where can the audience find you?
You can find my podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcast, and you can find me on Blue Sky at BP Movie Review Hour, as well as Letterboxd under the same username.
Awesome. Well, that's about it. Until next time, see ya. One second, Brian.